I'm curious. Objective, scientific review of Andrew Berry. What did you come to? You did a deep dive on it. What conclusions did you draw?
Yeah, so I dug through about 30, 40 off seasons worth of approximate value numbers for different teams from the 2020 to 2023 off season. That means evaluating drafts, free agent classes, who you retained, who you lost, and I came out with a net approximate value number, thanks to Pro Football Reference. And what I found was interesting is that if you just look at the whole, right, the whole net value number, Andrew Berry's actually like pretty good when it comes to that. He's done a really good job retaining his players. He's done a good job of making sure there's space to keep a lot of his players. It's a downfall of a lot of GMs. They don't manage their cap well, which means they have to lose guys, key guys at moments that aren't really optimal for the team. Andrew's been able to keep the roster together pretty well. The additions he has made has worked. The one issue with Andrew Berry is that the 2021 and 2022 drafts do not look like they're going to age well anytime soon. They look like two legitimately bad drafts. Now, the 2023 draft looks like it's on its way to being a solid performer for the Browns. And the 2024 draft will probably be another solid performer for the Browns. And the 2020 draft is going to be it was a solid performer for the Browns. So it's not like he's a terrible drafter, but he has not been as consistent as he's been with free agents and trades and retaining guys as he has been. He hasn't been as good as that as he has been with the draft. The draft hasn't been a strong point for him. So, when you look at it objectively, you look at these numbers, it tells you that Andrew Berry has brought more talent into this team than he came in with. And he's done a good job retaining it. Some years are better than the other, but I mean, this accounts for the amount of approximate value that you lost with the Deshaun Watson trade, which was minus 42 points, which is a huge number. To put in context how many points the Browns would have had to get from Deshaun Watson to equal out what they traded for him, Dave, you're talking about 50 points of approximate value because he got you 8 in Cleveland. He lost 42. 50 points in approximate value is what like Pat Mahomes has accumulated over that same 4-year time span. So, you lost out heavily on that, but they're still finding ways to come out positive on these off seasons when it comes to players that they bring in. So when you look at the whole, Andrew Berry's done a good job. He's done as good as a job as a lot of the other executives, and it makes sense to me now after doing this study that there's still a lot of respect for how he operates amongst other NFL front offices, because if you look at the whole of what he's been able to do, it is, I wouldn't say the most impressive out there, right? Like Brad Holmes is more impressive. I think the GM out there in Tampa Bay, the long-term guy there, more impressive, but it's up there. It's well, I think it was in the top 3 of the 9 that I ranked.
Yeah, the one thing is he hasn't had that sexy big splash draft pick that's hit. You go out and you draft a running back or a quarterback or a wide receiver who touches the ball all the time. Those are the guys that, wow, this guy can really draft. And it's like, well, no, not always.
Well, and look, Dave, if he does draft Abdul Carter and Abdul Carter turns into what people think he could be, you know what I don't want to hear from people in 5 years? Well, anybody would have drafted Abdul Carter because I lived through this, y'all.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.